The female CEO took out 2 million yuan and forced her father to drink alcohol. She didn't know that her father had an artificial heart implanted and could not drink at all. But to raise 2 million yuan for his wife's medical expenses, the father still risked his life to drink. However, he vomited blood and fell to the ground after drinking only 1 bottle. The female CEO beside him seemed extremely indifferent. It wasn't until her best friend arrived in time and told her that her father had donated his own heart to save her company back then. The story dates back to 5 years ago. At that time, the female CEO's company was in a debt crisis, and she might face 20 years in prison. Debt collectors surrounded and beat her, but her father did not step forward to help. Instead, he brought a bowl of dumplings and said, "After eating this bowl of dumplings, we will no longer be father and daughter." The female CEO asked her father why he did this. The father said, "I don't want to be dragged down by you," then left after throwing down a letter to cut off their father-daughter relationship. The female CEO thought her father was cold-hearted, but she didn't know that her father had donated his heart to a mysterious richest man in exchange for 30 billion yuan to save her company and bring it back to life. 5 years later, the female CEO returned to the peak of her career, with a net worth rising to 100 billion yuan. However, her father's artificial heart did not integrate well. The doctor had given him a critical illness notice, telling him he only had 3 months left to live, and he must not drink alcohol during these 3 months, otherwise, he would die immediately. The father held the notice tightly, and his only thought was to raise enough money for his wife's surgery within 3 months. As soon as he walked out of the hospital, he met the female CEO's best friend. The best friend had witnessed him abandon his daughter back then, so she was cold to him. To provoke him, she deliberately showed off the female CEO's current status in front of him and mentioned that the female CEO had recognized the richest man as her adoptive father. The father felt sad, but he was relieved to see his daughter living a good life. He dragged his sick body and turned to leave. At this time, the doctor came out to give the father his medical records and happened to meet the best friend. The doctor told her about the father having an artificial heart implanted 5 years ago. The best friend sensed something was wrong and immediately started investigating the matter. The father returned to his wife's hospital room. When his daughter was in the debt crisis back then, he lied to his daughter that her mother had passed away to avoid burdening her. He had been paying his wife's medical expenses alone with his salary as a cleaner. On this day, it happened to be the birthday banquet of the female CEO's adoptive father. The female CEO accidentally left her gift in the car. When the father was sweeping the floor, he saw the car window was open and worried that the gift would be stolen, so he helped deliver it. When leaving, he accidentally tripped over a table, and everyone began to blame him. Someone noticed that his back looked like the female CEO's father. The female CEO then took out her phone and called her father, and the father's phone rang immediately. The female CEO took off his mask and confirmed he was her father. She was filled with anger. Someone said the father had deliberately knocked over things to attract the female CEO's attention. The father took out his wallet and said he was willing to compensate, but the female CEO knocked his wallet to the ground. Unexpectedly, she caught a glimpse of all her photos inside. She angrily asked her father why he still kept these photos. The female CEO mentioned, "Today is also your birthday," then held a Rolex watch in one hand and the wallet in the other, telling her father to choose one. The father knew his time was limited and didn't want his daughter to be sad for him anymore, so he deliberately chose the Rolex. The female CEO angrily burned all the photos. The father turned to leave, but the female CEO stopped him again. She asked someone to bring several boxes of cash and scattered it on the ground, saying, "As long as you finish drinking this alcohol, all the money will be yours."